What's going on, y'all? Fix family. We got another video here. Today, we're just gonna be talking about 10 banks and credit unions that I'm gonna recommend y'all to go to, okay? These credit unions offer different things from pre-approval auto loans to pre-qualifications with no increase to cards with 0% interest APRs to cards with rewards points to cards that also act to accounts that also offer a lot on the business side of that of things other than just personal. Okay. Go through this list 1 to 10. Now, number one is actually my number one. The rest of them aren't ranked, but we just going in order how I have it. Okay. So don't come for me or anything like that. If your favorite bank or credit union is in seventh or eighth place and mine is in second place and you don't agree with it, it ain't really, ranked like that except for number one. So don't come for me, y'all. But today, number one, we have Navy Federal Credit Union. Y'all knew number one was gonna be first. I should have bet y'all on it. Really, I shouldn't have bet y'all because y'all would have beat me on that. But y'all knew it was gonna be first. Okay. Now I love Navy Federal because one, Navy Federal is very easy to get into. If you've seen some of my past videos here on this platform, then you've seen that I taught you how to get into Navy Fed. So now we got that out the way. Another thing is Navy Fed offers a great auto loan system. It's called the pre-approval auto loan. Just a quick rundown is instead of going to the dealership to where you can try to get approved for finance on a vehicle and they run your credit multiple times, give you a lot of inquiries and your score drop and you might leave without a car, you gonna go to Navy Fed and get your inquiry on your report one time. They're only gonna pull your credit once because it's the only place that's pulling it. A dealership, they have a list of lenders. Okay. You can actually ask them for their list of lenders and they do have to show you. Um, they might have 10 banks on there. They'll pull your credit through the first three. That's three inquiries. That could be 5, 10, 15 points. Boom. All them people say no. All right, let's go through the next three. 5, 10, 15 points. Boom. They said no. Now you down 30 points. You down 30 points. You're not going to get approved for what you're trying to get anyways because your score just keep dropping. If I go to Navy Federal, guess what? They're going to pull it one time. I'm going to get one inquiry. My score might go down 4 or 5 points. And what I like about it is you have a lot of wiggle room. You feel more comfortable when you got the pre-approval because it's a check. They give you a check. So it's kind of like you're going to the dealer and you're paying cash and you're not dealing with them anymore. You're dealing straight through Navy Federal. Your payments go there. You're not gonna have a crazy interest rate because it's through Navy Fed instead of this buy here, pay here. So you don't got to worry about paying 15,000 more than what the car really costs. I love it. Okay. Another thing is the more rewards card, the merged American Express card that they have. With this card, you get access to the Navy Federal Mobile Mall, which has a lot of different things at a discounted price, and you get a lot of points for stuff just because you're a card holder of the more rewards card. Okay. Um, I actually have this card over here myself. Let me show y'all real quick. This is the card right here. Okay. Y'all might not be able to see it that good. That's the card right there. Okay. With that card, I believe you get 3 points per dollar at gas stations and grocery stores. So, that's a card you can really use to stack up some rewards points and use that for travel. Boom, boom. Number two, Chase Bank. I love Chase Bank, and let me tell you why. Chase Bank, I love Chase Bank because of the business side mainly, but Chase Bank has some very, very nice credit cards. They also have very good customer service representatives. If you want to apply for like a home, Chase Bank, they point you in the right direction. They can give you pre-approvals, everything, all that stuff. One of my dudes actually had went through them and got a nice pre-approval on the home. He was only 20 or 21 at the time. I believe they approved him for like 160,000. Nothing too major, but I'm here in Cleveland, Ohio, so our real estate market is a little bit different, and that's how that goes. They approve you for 160K, you might go get you a real nice house, honestly, in Cleveland. I don't know how it is in California or in New York or anything or Colorado, but that's how it is in Cleveland. All right. Another thing about Chase is on the business side, they have something what's called the Chase Unlimited Inc. Now, Chase Unlimited Inc. A lot of these cards with Chase, they offer 0% APR for an intro bonus. Now, when you're getting some business funding, and let's say you go through Chase Bank, I've seen them approve people for $50,000 on one credit card. So imagine you get $50,000 on one credit card and it's 0% interest for like 9 to 12 months. That's crazy. You about to go run some sick plays with that. You're not about to go splurge on designer or bottles in the club or little signs that the bottle girl's bringing out. No, you about to use that, invest in some real estate, go pay you a mentor to show you how to do something. If you options trade, I've seen people investing into options trading. You're gonna do something with it to get it. You feel me? You want to get something out of that. It's not 50,000 to just go blow. Money, period, is a tool. Okay, you gotta learn how to use money. It's more than just a piece of paper or some numbers on the screen. You can really leverage this stuff to go do something bigger. If you got a whole lump sum of money, let's say you got 60,000 and it's just sitting there, you need to get something out of that. You need to have money making money in other places, okay? You don't want to just have money sitting around, y'all, because it's not doing nothing. Inflation is going up, so you're losing money with it just sitting there, honestly, especially if it's not in like a certificate of deposit or a high yield saving account. Come on, y'all be killing me, man. Number three, we got American Express. I love American Express. Here is a American Express card right here. See, y'all can see this all the way. It's the American Express Gold, okay? This is a business card, as you can see. Fix Bros at the bottom, that's my company. Now, this is a charge card. This is not a credit card. One of the main differences is with charge cards, you usually pay off the balance that you accumulate that month. Typically, when you're carrying a balance on a card, that's a credit card that you want to do that on. However, this does offer a 0% intro promo for, I believe, 6 to 9 months. But what I like about this is you get a lot of rewards points with this. You get like I want to say like 3 to 4 points per dollar on ad spend, which is crazy because you're spending a lot of money on ads as a business owner. Okay. Another thing is with American Express, you could pre-qualify for their cards with no inquiry. So they'll tell you online, like, okay, you've been approved for this card. Only way you'll get a hard inquiry is if you press accept the card. But you can pre-qualify all day long for all their cards. One of my favorite cards is the Blue Cash Every Day. It's 0% interest for 15 months. And me personally, I had that card. Actually, I have this card. When I applied for this credit card, I was in the beginning of my business journey with credit repair. So I actually applied for this right here, the Blue Cash Every Day. And they gave me, I want to say $7,000 or maybe $8,000. And they gave me 0% interest on purchases for 15 months. So I went ahead and bought this MacBook that I'm recording this video off of. I went ahead and bought the desk that this MacBook is sitting on top of. I went and bought a printer. I bought some envelopes, some paper, some ink, an office chair. I bought a lot of things so I could start conducting my business daily in order to grow this. And I did all that just because I got approved for a credit card at 0% interest that my minimum payment was maybe under $100 for me taking like 4 to 5 thousand off of it. I just liquidated it. I actually really didn't even have to liquidate it the full way because some of these things I'm just buying online. I'm going in the store. But when you do want to liquidate your card, you do what's called manufacturer spending. You just put your card through a payment process. You create an invoice, swipe, boom, boom. Now you got that money. That's how you do that. It's called manufacturer spending. That's also a way to fast track your points and stuff like that. Number four, y'all, we have Capital One. Okay. Now, Capital One, let me show you a Capital One card. Um, Capital One isn't my go-to bank and they're not my number one, only because me personally, I haven't had too much experience myself with getting the high limits on Capital One cards. I haven't seen anything personally over like $4,000. This is the Quicksilver right here. And this isn't no special card, guys. Not at all. Now they do have some other cards. Um, Capital One offers it's the Quicksilver rewards, and that's a 0% interest on purchases for 15 months. So that's great. Of course, it's 0% interest, but like I said, I haven't had no super high limit with Capital One. It was never a limit high enough to where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run a play with this. Now, Amex them giving me the 8,000. That's way better than Capital One giving me like 3,000. I have a lot more wiggle room with 8,000. I could do a lot with that. versus 3,000. You know, it's just I don't know, not a big fan of that. They also have some other credit cards that offer points for spending. So it might say like, okay, spend 3,000 within the first 90 days, and we'll give you 50,000 miles or 50,000 points, and you can use that for travel. So, you know, I've seen a lot of people use Capital One for travel cards. However, like I said, even though they have some 0% interest intro promos, it's there. I haven't seen people get very high limits with Capital One specifically. Um, to run plays on, and that's my personal experience. Now, there may have been someone that has gotten like a lot of money on the Capital One card, maybe 7,000 plus. Have I ever seen it in my experience? I have not, but that's me. You might be able to go check somebody else out, and they might say, okay, yeah, we have had seen that, blah blah blah. You know, but Capital One is a cool one. I would really recommend Capital One to like starters or people with bad to moderate credit that have secured cards that they offer. It's a good starting bank. I'll say that for sure. And you can travel with a Capital One card because a lot of Capital One, you could transfer their points with a lot of different airlines for travel. So you might have 20,000 miles and you might be able to transfer from Capital One to American Airlines, and now that 20,000 miles is worth 40, 50,000 miles. So you can travel and jug with a Capital One card. I'm kind of sitting here making Capital One seem like it's weak, but it's on my number four, so clearly it ain't that weak, y'all, because it has a lot of benefits to it. Let's move on to number five. Number five, Discover. What I like about Discover is they offer the Discover It card. This is actually how I started building my credit. I had grabbed a Discover It secured card at the time I was 18, and I thought that's what you needed to do in order to build credit. And boy, was I wrong. However, that still was a good start for me. This is going to be the card right here. Let me go ahead and show y'all the Discover It. You see where it say it after the Discover? You discovered it. Discovered what? Credit, right? No. So boom. With the security card, I had put up $200 for my collateral. So I gave them $200 out of my pocket, and that was my limit for 6 months. Now, throughout those 6 months, I had to show good spending habits, so good payment history, low utilization, and basically that's really it. It's not too much to having a secure card or a credit card, period, but especially a card with a $200 limit. Now, after the 6 months, they evaluated how I did, and they actually gave me that deposit of $200 back, and they raised my limit to 1,800, and my credit score was probably around like a 720 something. I want to say I was 18 years old when this happened. So this is the very beginning of my credit journey. I love Discover for that. I always recommend Discover to people who are starting off because you don't need to have great to perfect credit in order to get with Discover. You don't. And another thing is Discover, they offer a credit. You can request a credit limit increase with no hard inquiry. No hard inquiry. So that's one of the main things I like about them. Um, Number six, we got Bank of America. Now, Bank of America also offers some of the same things. They have a lot of CDs that they offer, but they have cash back credit cards, they got low interest credit cards, and they got travel credit cards. I'm always going to preach about the low interest credit cards, okay? Because you can run plays with these cards, and that's what I love. We want to get our money back. Now they have the Bank of them. They have it's called the Bank AmeriCard. I want to say it's like a white card. It's no annual fee, and it's 0% interest for 18 months, 18 billing cycles, and that's on purchases and any balance transfers. Balance transfers is only like I think 2 billing cycles, but for purchases, 18 billing cycles, and that's 0% interest. So that's a card that I like. They have a student card as well. That's also 0% interest for 18 billing cycles for purchases. Um, no annual fee. They offer a lot of different things. I'm always talking about credit cards and 0% interest on them. If you want to just have a regular bank account with them, they do have CDs. A CD is just a certificate of deposit. Think of like a high yield savings account, um, where instead of leaving it in like your bank account where you're getting like 0.06% interest a year on that account, you're going to be getting like anywhere from like 3.6 interest to like 4.8 at the highest that I've seen. I'm not sure exactly how theirs is, but I know with Navy Federal, my number one, they offer up to I believe like 3.8 or 3.9, something like that. It just depends on how long you got the CD going for and the amount that you're gonna be putting in there. Okay, y'all. But Bank of America, that's a good bank. You can't go wrong there. Get you a 0% interest credit card. Next on the list, we got Wells Fargo. Now, I don't have any Wells Fargo's cards. Now, if I did have any Wells Fargo's cards, it would probably be a 0% interest card. I believe they do offer a few of those. Um, like I said, I don't have my own Wells Fargo card, but I believe the Reflect card is 0% interest for almost 2 years, like around like 21. Yeah, it might be 2 years. 0% interest for 24 months, anywhere from 20 to 24 months. But um, that's on purchases and qualifying balance transfers. Imagine not having to pay interest on any balance for 2 years, y'all. This is the sauce that I'm trying to give y'all. 2 years. They got if you don't want a 0% interest card, they got an active cash card. You can get a $200 cash rewards when you spend like 500 in the first couple months. That's cool, nothing crazy, but if I was y'all, I would go for that 0% interest card, okay? Next on my list, I have PNC Bank, okay? Now, PNC Bank, you hear a lot of people preach about it. PNC Bank, they're giving out a bag on the funding side for business, like for businesses. I want to say you could get up to 50,000 from PNC without documentation required through a business, which is why a lot of people mess with them. Now, for those of you that don't have businesses, on the personal side, they offer, just regular stuff, checking and savings accounts, home loans. You can do retirement and auto loans through there, and they got some nice credit cards too. Um, Most of their credit cards, you can earn like saying like how that Wells Fargo card was. You can earn like a $200 bonus for spending 500 within the first couple months. It's nothing like really crazy. They do have a 0% interest card on not purchases but balance transfers for 15 months. And that's basically like, say if you were let's say if you were trying to take the balance from this card and put it on this card to lower your utilization, that would be a card that you would do that for, okay? I don't believe they have one that's for purchases at 0% interest. That's why I don't have them high up on the list. However, that's still good to have because some people carry big balances and they want to move them over to another card to lower their utilization because that card may have a lower limit. Okay. Um, we got number nine. Number nine, I have Truist Bank on here. Now, Truist Bank, I like Truist because I've gotten a lot of people a lot of money from Truist. Truist, you can get a 25,000 limit credit card, 0% interest, as well as a line of credit, and it's up to 25,000 each without documentation required, y'all. You gotta listen to what I'm saying. They're not requiring documentation in order for you to get a 25,000 limit credit card at 0% interest that you can use under your business to start funding your plays. You do hair, 25,000 to put towards your hair. You do mechanic stuff, auto body stuff, 25,000 put towards it. You got a podcast channel on YouTube, 25,000 put towards it. Really, whatever you're doing, you have money to invest in your business and you don't have to pay interest on it for a very long time. And that's the main thing about this. We running plays, you making money from other people's money. This is called using OPM, okay? Y'all gotta get with this OPM, use this. Truist, I love Truist. I'll be getting people a bag through there. If y'all want to go on some of these different banks, y'all can just go ahead and look them up, research them. We call it reading the menu. Go through the products and services, look at the checking accounts from personal to small business to the CDs and the savings accounts. They might have Roth IRAs, 401ks, um, mortgages. They offer a lot of different things with all these banks and credit unions. So just go through them, read the menu, y'all, and see what you like in there. Next, number 10, guys. We got what I got down here, y'all. Hold on, y'all. My list, man. My list is all over the place. All right, for number 10, y'all. Once again, we got Navy Fed. I feel like Navy Fed is just such an honorable mention that I had to tell y'all about it twice, okay? Get with Navy Fed, y'all. If y'all want me to personally get on the phone with you and help you, or if you're in the local area, meet up somewhere like a coffee shop or something and help you get into Navy Fed as a member, I will do that. Now, it might cost you some money or something, but you know, it costs money to make money. And at the end of the day, this is all about information. When you're paying for information and to learn things, you're that's not something that you lose. You know, you could be gone or have to go sit down somewhere for a minute and you're not losing any of that information. All the materialistic things, money, cars, clothes, shoes, you can get all that stuff back. You could lose all that stuff and get it back again, and it could be gone just like this. But information, knowledge, and wisdom that's in your head, especially when you're educated about a lot of things, or not even a lot of things, but you're educated a lot in a specific area of something, you're not just gonna forget that knowledge. So that's why it's so detrimental to learn this information yourselves, and that's why I have this community and I'm putting it out to y'all because y'all are my people, and I want everybody to strive. I want to give y'all exposure to this information so we can really turn y'all up. Like I said, it's about to be a new year, 2026. Even if this year didn't go how you intended it to go so far, it's no timeline on success. Keep going hard, y'all. If you got to turn up in the fourth quarter of the year, turn up in the fourth quarter of the year. Ain't nothing wrong with that.